Today, the 2004 Auburn Tigers, who went undefeated, but Oklahoma and SC were also undefeated and played for the national championship. It was an amazing year to watch. Everybody had impressive records and resumes. The only problem for Auburn, that Oklahoma and SC started the season ranked 1 and 2, and that never changed. Al Borges was the offensive coordinator then under Tommy Tuberville, yes, the United States Senator. Coach, let's talk about that season for a second, because Auburn really helped change the world of college football with that season, because afterwards the commissioner of the SEC decided we can never have an undefeated SEC champion who doesn't contend for the national championship, and that, of course, has not happened since. What made that Auburn team so other than your coaching, and you had some amazing players? I think three of your backfield mates went in the first round, if I remember correctly, 4 in all. It was just a very talented team.
Yeah, they were on a mission, Paul. They were after the tumultuous 2003, all the crap that went on then, and I didn't experience that. I got the residuals of that, but they were on a mission, and they weren't going to be denied. It was every week. We started with no great expectations. I think we started at 17. So there was no noise out there like there was a year before, where I think a lot of the publications were rating Auburn real high. Some of the pressures of that and it probably got to them a little bit. But there wasn't any of that until after Tennessee. Now, after we beat Tennessee the way we did in Knoxville, then the noise started again, okay? The pressure started to build a little bit week to week. But they responded, and it wasn't just a talented team, which it certainly was that, but it was a team with a lot of character that, and there were a few games where we were on the mat. We had to get off the mat and come up swinging, and when it was all said and done, we always won. So it was always difficult for me to picture anyone beating us. I've done about 10 of these podcasts, and everybody asks the same question. Well, could you beat SC? I said, I can't envision anybody beat that team. But, SC was good, and I don't think there's any question about that. But we just had a synergy, a majestic synergy that I think was infectious amongst the entire team. And it just built and built as the season went on.
And Coach, for those who remember, and it's been a while, the year before Auburn was expected to contend for the national championship, opened up the season losing. That was the season of Jetgate. Tuberville was almost fired. He was going to be fired and replaced by Bobby Petrino. I know you were coaching the offense. That was your responsibility, but many have gone back and tried to say that incident helps springboard what happened next. Can you address that?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with it. I don't know that it was the impetus, but it certainly was a factor. I will say that. There was when I came in, I was a little naive to the situation. When you're coaching, you're in a vacuum. And when I was in Indiana, I wasn't aware of anything about Auburn. I knew they had a running back named Cadillac, and I thought that was a pretty cool name, but I didn't know his last name. So when I came in, I was a little oblivious, but I learned fast. Okay, that when I walked into the building, there was a line in the sand between those who were on one side and those who were on the other. And but the players were a little caught in the middle. But when I went out there, and they didn't know me from Adam now. I mean, I call it my cousin Vinny moment. I came in, I was Vinny Bambini. I didn't know nothing. I mean, I didn't dress right. I didn't eat the right foods. I didn't, they were all wondering who the hell I was. But they accepted me because they thought I could coach. And all that stuff kind of went by the wayside as we went there. All the residual effects of the Jetgate situation just slowly went away, and the focus went on the target every week. But I can't honestly say that didn't have something to do with the motivation that went into the 2004 season, if that answers your question.
Well, yeah, it does. In terms of the frustration level, you guys did everything you had to do. You won the SEC. You beat Alabama, of course. You beat Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. But Tuberville continued to argue, and it never caught on with very many people. And do you think it was because of the greatness of that SC team, or it was just the times when you only had two going and playing for the national championship.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think whether people want to admit it or not, I think the game the year before did have a little effect.
Right. Yeah. Those two teams played. Yes.
Yeah, and we were a completely different team. That's an unfair analogy, but I think that might have had a little bit to do with it. But SC kind of eliminated themselves with their problems, and that's really, I think, the case that Tubb makes is SC's not even a factor because they supposedly caught their hand in the cookie jar. So who's the best team now? I mean, honestly speaking, I don't, with all due respect to Oklahoma did not match up well with us. I don't believe Oklahoma could have beat us, but I don't believe SC could have beat us for that matter. And Utah was the other one, and I don't think they could have beat us either. So why would you vacate a championship when you have a champion? I mean, we won every single game. We did not have any recruiting violations. We had no issues. Did Reggie Bush's playing for USC, is that the difference in 55 to 19? I don't know. Maybe it is, but I doubt it. So we should be the national champions. I mean, I see no rational reason why we shouldn't be. But, my version's a little slanted. To leave the 2004 championship vacated when there is a champion, I think is absurd. But I don't make that call.
Coach Al Borges, his book will be out in August, and we are eager to get our hands on it. Coach, thanks for dropping by. We'll see you when the book comes out, if not sooner. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Hey, it was great talking to you again, Paul. I look forward to it.
You bet, you bet. Al Borges, the former coordinator at Auburn, and we are eager to hear more from him in a couple of months.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.